Have you ever felt like your relationships just wouldn't grow the way you wanted them to? What if I told you that a philosophy that was created more than 2,000 years ago could help you make deeper, more meaningful connections in this digital age? I'm talking about Stoicism, an ancient but timeless wisdom that can change how we connect with, understand, and interact with those around us. Imagine applying the ideas of a philosophy that ruled great emperors and thinkers to your own relationships. Stoicism teaches us that the key to a strong relationship isn't big actions or always agreeing, but mutual respect, understanding, and the power to control our thoughts and actions. In a world where disagreements and conflict seem to happen all the time, Stoicism offers a light of stability and clarity. Whether you're having trouble connecting with a coworker, wanting to strengthen your relationship with a partner, or just looking for deeper friendships, the Stoic approach to relationships can give you useful tools and deep insights. Principle 1. Building strong relationships through Stoicism. Today we're going to look into the heart of Stoicism to find out how to build truly fulfilling relationships in today's fast-paced and often chaotic world. Get ready to change the way you think about relationships and discover the joy of connecting with others on a deeper, more authentic level. If you're ready to start this journey of personal growth and stronger connections, make sure to hit the subscribe button and watch every part of this video without skipping a beat. Each part is designed to bring you closer to the fulfilling relationships you deserve. When we think of Stoicism, we might picture strict philosophers who don't care about the world or their feelings. But Stoicism is really about connecting with others and the world in a deeper and more thoughtful way. It's about making connections that aren't just surface level or based on fleeting emotions, but on mutual respect, understanding, and shared values. You may be asking how a philosophy that teaches people to be detached and in charge of their feelings can help them build strong relationships. Well, it's quite interesting. Stoicism doesn't say we should hide our feelings. Instead, it says we should understand them, control them, and make sure they don't get in the way of our reason. In relationships, this means being more aware of how we react and respond. It means choosing not to snap back in anger or jump to conclusions, but instead taking a step back, thinking about what happened, and then responding in a way that's constructive and caring. Stoicism teaches us how important it is to understand and empathize with others. For example, when you disagree with a friend, instead of defending your point of view right away, try to see things from their point of view. You also listen to what they're saying, not just to respond, but to understand. Principle 2. Perception and control in interpersonal dynamics. Being able to listen and understand can change interactions. Additionally, Stoicism helps us concentrate on what we can change in a relationship. We can't change the other person's thoughts, feelings, or actions, but we can change our own. This means picking kindness over anger. Being the best friend, partner, or family member we can be, no matter what the other person does, means choosing patience over impatience and understanding over judgment. But here's the thing. Building strong relationships isn't just about handling arguments or listening well. It's also about sharing happiness, praising wins, and helping each other through tough times. Stoic philosophy tells us to enjoy the present and value the time we spend with others. We learn to be thankful for our relationships and to say thank you out loud. Stoics believe that the best way to build good relationships is to think and feel at the same time. Respectful, caring, and based on a deep understanding of ourselves and the people we care about. This is how we should interact with others. By taking this approach, we can make deeper, more lasting connections that make our lives and the lives of those around us better. So let's follow the advice of Stoicism and build relationships that are not only strong, but also deeply rewarding and fulfilling. When we think about how much our thoughts affect our world, especially when we deal with other people, it's interesting. Stoicism gives us a deep understanding of this by stressing that what bothers us is not the events themselves, but how we think about them. This is a very strong realization when it comes to relationships. Now let's break it down. You're waiting for a friend who is late. Principle 3. Embodying Stoic values for relationship harmony. There are different ways to look at this situation. You could think that they don't respect your time, which would make you frustrated or angry. On the other hand, you could think that they may have been delayed by something unexpected and remember times when you were also late. This change in perspective can make you feel understanding and patience instead of irritation. This is where the Stoic idea of control comes in. We often try to control things that are out of our control, like other people's actions or thoughts. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can change, our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. When we use this in our relationships, we can make it more peaceful and less stressful for everyone involved. For example, when we don't understand or agree with someone, our first instinct might be to blame them or the situation. But a Stoic would tell us to look inward and think about how our thoughts, feelings, and actions led to the conflict. By doing this, we give ourselves the power to respond more positively and compassionately in the future. But Stoicism isn't just about dealing with bad situations. Power of perception and control is also important for noticing the good things in our relationships. By choosing to focus on the good things about others and the happy times we share, we can develop a more grateful and positive outlook. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or acting like everything is fine, but rather balancing our awareness to notice the good things while also dealing with the problems. Reframing our thoughts and focusing on what we can control can change our relationships. It helps us be more understanding, less reactive, and more appreciative of the people in our lives. So the next time you're upset or frustrated in a relationship, remember the power of perception and control. Ask yourself, is this within my control? Can I perceive this differently? Principle 4. Navigating emotions wisely within relationships. Not only will this make your relationships better, but it will also make you happier and more at peace with yourself. Let's accept this Stoic wisdom and see how it can improve our relationships with others. Stoicism isn't just about being calm and strong. It's also about how we treat other people. It promotes traits like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, all of which can make our relationships much better. First, wisdom when it comes to partnerships. Wisdom isn't just knowing a lot or being smart. It's also understanding the subtleties of how people interact with each other, recognizing the different points of view, and choosing actions that promote harmony and understanding. When we use wisdom in our relationships, we try to understand before we are understood, to empathize and to respond, not react. This can help solve problems, strengthen relationships, and encourage mutual respect. Next, let's talk about courage in relationships. Heroic deeds aren't always signs of bravery. It's about having the guts to be open and honest about how you feel and to face problems head-on instead of ignoring them. It's also about having the guts to step back when we need to and respecting each other's and our own limits. This kind of courage makes relationships more honest and builds trust, making a secure area where real relationship can grow. Moving on to the law, Stoicism teaches us to be fair and treat others with respect, realizing that we are all linked and that our actions have an effect on others. This means showing empathy, taking into account the needs of others along with our own, and trying to have interactions that are respectful and helpful for both parties. It also means standing up for what is right and fair, which may mean having tough conversations or making tough choices. Finally, we have temperance. Principle 5. Enhancing communication and trust with Stoicism, or taking care of yourself in relationships. This virtue is all about moderation and balance. It's about letting our feelings out in the right way, resisting the urge to act on impulse, and keeping a healthy balance between giving and getting. Temperance keeps us from being too dependent on someone or too distant from them, which leads to relationships that are both helpful and empowering. By applying these Stoic values to our relationships, we not only improve our own growth, but also make the lives of those around us better by creating a space where respect, understanding, and genuine care are valued. It's important to remember these Stoic values as we go about our daily lives, whether we're talking to a friend, arguing with a partner, or working together with a coworker. Using wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance can make our relationships better. Let's not just see these values as ideals, but as real tools for growing and improving our relationships with others. Stoicism is often misunderstood as a call to hide our feelings, but it actually encourages us to understand them and handle them in a smart way. Emotions are a big part of being human and have a big impact on the ties we have with other people. In relationships, Stoicism helps us get through these tough situations with more skill and compassion. First, it's important to remember that emotions aren't the problem. It's how we react to them that is. This means recognizing our feelings without letting them control our actions. For example, it's normal to feel angry, but Stoicism teaches us to stop and think before acting out of anger. This space between feeling and acting is where we have the power to choose a response. Principle 6. Fostering deeper connections for meaningful relationships that supports our values and protects our relationships rather than one that could hurt them. Also, Stoicism pushes us to look at the beliefs that make us feel upset. Often, our emotional responses are caused by seeing threats to our values or expectations. By understanding these triggers, we can deal with the real reasons behind our feelings, communicate our needs more clearly, and build stronger empathy in our relationships. Now think of empathy as an important emotional skill in any relationship. Stoicism's focus on seeing things from other people's points of view fits perfectly with the practice of empathy. If we try to understand the feelings and thoughts of those around us, we can respond with kindness and support, strengthening our relationships and gaining trust. Also, being honest about our feelings is important for healthy relationships. Stoicism doesn't say we should hide or push down our feelings. Instead, it says we should understand them and talk about them in a healthy way. Being open and honest about our feelings can make our relationships stronger by fostering closeness and understanding. Lastly, it's important to keep in mind that controlling our feelings is a lifelong process. Stoic ideas and ways of looking at things can help, but like any other skill, it takes time and practice to get good at it. As we get better at controlling our feelings and acting on purpose, our relationships will become stronger, more caring, and more satisfying. Through the lens of Stoicism, understanding the role of emotion in relationships helps us build stronger, more understanding connections with others. By being aware of our emotions, reflecting before reacting, and communicating with empathy and honesty, we can improve the emotional depth and quality of our relationships. Let's keep practicing these skills to build relationships that thrive on them. Conclusion and thoughts on the Stoic relationship. Building emotional intelligence and mutual respect is important in all relationships, whether they are personal, family, or work-related. Trust and communication are the building blocks of everything else. It's possible for even the tightest bonds to break. To be Stoic, communication is more than just talking. It's about connecting and sharing our ideas, feelings, and values in a way that is open, honest, and polite. Stoicism teaches us to listen not just to answer, but to understand. This means giving the other person our full attention, understanding their point of view, and reacting thoughtfully in a world full of distractions. Focusing on intentional communication can make our relationships stronger, but communication goes both ways. It's also important to say what we really mean. This can be hard, especially when talking about sensitive topics or solving problems. But Stoicism tells us to go into these conversations with courage and wisdom, telling the truth with tact and respect. By doing this, we not only solve problems more effectively, but we also build stronger trust and connection. Now let's talk about trust. Trust is like a bridge that connects two people. It needs a strong base and regular upkeep, just like a real bridge. Stoicism can help us build this foundation because it teaches us to be trustworthy, honest, and reliable in our actions and words. When we say we'll do something, we do it. And when we make a mistake, we own up to it and make things right. These actions build trust by showing others that we are reliable and honest. But trust also requires us to be open and honest with others. It means letting the other person into our deepest thoughts and feelings and believing that they will treat us with care. Invitations to learn more about Stoic wisdom and community engagement. Being vulnerable can be scary, But Stoicism gives us the strength to face our fears and the knowledge to know when and how to share. When we do this, we encourage others to do the same, which builds trust and openness in our relationships. Trust isn't just believing in each other. It's believing in the relationship itself, that you can overcome problems, settle disagreements, and become stronger as a team. Communication and trust are not just nice to have in a relationship, they are necessary. By following Stoic principles, we can improve our ability to communicate with clarity and empathy, build trust through honesty and openness, and ultimately make connections that are both strong and rewarding. Let's promise to follow these rules in all of our daily encounters. Building deep, meaningful relationships can seem impossible in a world full of surface-level interactions and short-lived connections. But Stoicism has timeless lessons that can help us make these deeper connections, which will enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. First and foremost, Stoicism teaches us the value of presence. In today's fast-paced, digitally driven world, it's easy to be physically present with someone while our minds are miles away. Stoicism reminds us how important it is to be fully present, both physically and mentally, when we're with others. This means actively listening, participating in conversations, and showing that we value the time we spend together. When people feel seen and heard, it sets the stage for a deeper, more meaningful connection. Next, let us talk about beliefs and experiences that we all share. Stoicism stresses how important it is to live in line with our values and encourages us to find others who share those values. When we do things that are in line with our core beliefs, like volunteering, pursuing a hobby, or exploring a spiritual path, we create chances to meet people who share our values and experiences. These shared experiences and values are what make connections that last. Stoicism also tells us to be open and honest with others, even if it goes against what you might think. Being vulnerable, showing our true selves with all our flaws and doubts, can strengthen our relationships with others. When we share our struggles and successes, we allow others to do the same, which builds trust and understanding. Remember that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness, and it's a key part of making real, long-lasting connections. Stoicism also teaches us how important it is to be thankful and appreciate the people in our lives. When we regularly recognize and express our gratitude for these people, we not only improve the relationships we already have, but we also attract new, better ones. Also, showing respect for others makes us see them as valuable, which makes them more likely to stay a part of our lives. Finally, making deeper connections is a process, not a goal. Stoicism, which focuses on constant personal growth and reflection, tells us to take care of our relationships, deal with disagreements in a healthy way, and work for mutual growth and understanding. If we see our relationships as living, changing things that need our care and attention, we can build connections that are not only deep and meaningful, but also strong and long-lasting. Making deeper connections is an important part of living a full life, and Stoicism gives us a lot of advice on how to do this by being present and sharing our experiences and values. By being open and honest about our feelings, saying thank you, and committed to ongoing growth, we can build relationships that bring us deep friendship, support, and joy. Let's follow these Stoic ideas and put our money into the deep, important connections that make our lives and the lives of those around us better. On this journey called life, our relationships are what hold us together and give us joy, strength, and meaning. Remember that the art of making deep connections shows how much we have in common as humans, our ability to understand, care for, and love each other. I encourage you to bring the wisdom of Stoicism into your relationships, creating bonds that not only last, but also grow. Thank you for joining me here at Stoic Journal. Your presence and participation are what make this community so unique. As we continue to explore the depths of Stoicism together, I invite you to watch one of the suggested videos to better understand and apply Stoic principles in your life. Let's try to live more intentionally, creating relationships that reflect the richness of Stoic wisdom.